Hi, and welcome to Biteable Live. My name's Jared, and this week I am joined by our second returning guest, our resident Facebook guru, Ken. Welcome, Ken.
Hey, great to be here. Great to be here again.
Fantastic. So today's episode is going to be all around seasonal campaigns because the scary thing for us is, as marketers, we are getting very close to the time of the year where Santa turns up and we do crazy Black Friday and all those other festivals that not all the world, but a decent chunk of the world celebrate. So as marketers, it's time to get our skates on and start thinking about what we're going to do in preparation for the silly season, as it's called. So the plan today is we're going to run through a few Biteable videos. We're going to talk a bit about targeting audiences with seasonal videos. And at the same time, we're going to spend some time thinking about sequential videos towards the end. So if you're sort of an advanced marketer and you really want to sort of get deeper into this, Ken's going to take us on a steadily increasingly more advanced journey throughout the show today. So as I always say, it's live. So if you are watching this show live, take advantage of that. Drop a comment in the Facebook comments, the Facebook live feed. And I will, as best as I can, read those out and we'll try to answer them throughout the show. If you're just here and you just want to let us know, drop in your country, your city, or just send us a little like. That would be fantastic. For some of us, we get up really early. Sometimes we stay up late, but we want to keep producing the shows. So the occasional likes here and there make a big difference for us. So that's basically the show. That's the plan. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump in and start just talking about, seasonal campaigns. Why would a marketer, why would a business want to produce a seasonal campaign? I mean, it's a pretty simple question, but I guess there's a big answer to it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of reasons why a marketer would want to produce a holiday campaign. And a lot of the time, especially in social media, especially this period that we're in now between between October, Halloween into all the way into the new year, a lot of people dub this the Super Bowl of social media. And that's because this is the times where, everyone is just like scrambling to, get the sales out that they have for Black Friday, if they're e-commerce, even if they're a service, or if they are, more B2B, they're still offering discounts. They're still trying to relate to their customer in some way, shape, or form. And one of the most important parts about this actual time of year is actually that this gives you a really rare opportunity to really talk to your customers in a one-to-one fashion where, this is a great timing, when you say Happy Halloween or when you say, Merry Christmas to your customers or your prospective customers, it feels a little bit more personal and it feels like they're talking more to a human rather than a company. And so it's a great opportunity to really just get connected with your customers and your fan base.
I guess that's true, isn't it? That's one of the big things is it's most of the time throughout the year, you feel like if you're contacting customers in any way, even on Facebook, it feels like you've probably got a hidden agenda. But at Christmas and New Year's or Hanukkah or whatever it happens to be, if it's a celebration, you feel like that's an excuse where you can act like a real person, and actually get that emotional connection. So hence the reason why I guess at Biteable, we see this time of year, everyone's racing in and producing some form of festive seasonal video for their social media.
Yes.
So just thinking about that, I mean, look, we see all sorts of people coming through on Biteable, producing different types of videos for different types of businesses. I guess we need to consider that there are different types of businesses and they'll have different purposes and they'll have different agendas. I guess, what are the kind of, if we were trying to break in businesses into maybe three different groups and their videos they're going to produce, I mean, what are we looking at this time of the year?
Yeah, and I think that you're right. There are maybe three different types of companies or businesses that can approach this season very differently. So you really have the soft approach, and this one is for more of B2B clients, SaaS companies, companies that can't really leverage, Black Friday and buying gifts for for your family, your spouses. They can't really leverage that at this time. But what they can do is connect with their customer base, thank them for being customers, and really try and build that loyalty. And so that soft approach is really just trying to build that loyalty and build that returning customers and reducing your churn during this time. Then we go into more of a consideration approach or more a medium approach. it's a little bit more harder of a sell, and that's like services. So if you run a paint company, if you run like if you're a plumber, any type of company that you provide a service, you can still kind of leverage this time of year to provide Black Friday discounts, holiday discounts. You can really use this time of year, especially to say like, hey, for the holidays, give the gift of your service or give the gift of like a massage. And so there's a lot of opportunities there for more of the service-based industry to really take advantage of this year.
So
And
if I was a painter, I might, for example, talk about New Year and New Year, new house, new paint job. It's sort of selling. It's sort of on the holidays, so it's that middle position there.
Exactly. And it's a really good way to just like leverage the time of year because people want to make their houses gorgeous during Christmas or make their houses gorgeous during the new year. And so that's kind of the approach that they would take. And I think the last one and the most probably the obvious one for the holidays is the e-commerce brands. This is especially their Super Bowl. Like they absolutely they increase all their advertising spends. They're trying to get those Black Friday sales out, and then once Black Friday comes out of that, then they start targeting to the people who are trying to buy gifts. And so, because people are so buying heavy at this time, because they have to buy so many gifts, everyone's purchasing more than they normally would. And so, there's the perfect time for e-commerce brands to really capitalize on this moment.
Yeah, and I know from previous experience working in advertising agencies, the closer it gets to Christmas, Boxing Day sales, etc., the more big retailers jump on as they start to panic. They might not be hitting their targets, and just crazy amounts of media money floods into places. And I know, like, my advice is, try to get your Christmas spend, your marketing spend as early as possible this year. Because with Facebook, so with TV ads, they're booked, right? So the big brand, they want to buy a 30-second spot after a big show. Well, if it's already taken, it's already taken. But with Facebook, up until the second before it goes live, that's a live auction. And so if a big brand's going to come in, you can have an audience that might be wanting might be your accounting services. But that same person might also be in the market for a new car. And being able to compete with those budgets when they come in, Facebook's going to show them what's going to earn them the most amount of revenue and engagement. So there's going to be a point this year where it's just going to get crazy expensive to reach your audience, particularly if you're an e-commerce business. So don't get too disheartened or disenfranchised. But if you're organized and you're watching this now, jump on it, because as it gets closer, those costs just blow up to the point where I know some small retail businesses online just sort of, not say give up, but you just don't compete in those auctions because it gets so expensive.
100%. And that's actually more of a reason to even run a holiday campaign, is because if you can tighten up your messaging, if you can make that really crisp and clear rather than just running your evergreen campaigns, the increased CPM is going to be met with increased conversion. And so that's going to be really important this year.
Fantastic. Those options because it gets so expensive. Oh, hang on. I've got it. And that's actually, I just realized I've got to mute the Facebook tab. So, and it's live. And so it's live because you heard us talking straight back to you. I make a mistake every show. I surprise and just do something different every time. So might be a good time now, Ken, to jump in and start having a look at maybe the Biteable interface. And I know you've got some ideas and just a quick walkthrough for a couple of seasonal videos for us.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen real quick, and I'll guide you guys through two different types of videos. I really thought in mind of where the different types of businesses would be, and so I'm going to start off with the soft approach, and then I'll go into more of a hard sales approach. And so the first one is really more so for, again, B2B businesses, businesses that can't really leverage the sale option, but they really want to thank their customers, and so Biteable makes that really simple and really easy to do, especially on social media. And so you get this great video. This is the one that I chose because I think this one's really important for B2B businesses because it's kind of us thanking them and us giving them a gift back. And so a lot of the time this can, I really like this copy, but you can change it up, for if you have like maybe for the holidays. I just want to thank you for being a customer throughout the years. Sorry. And, build that through. You can save and preview and see how it looks like. That's what's beautiful about Biteable is you're actually able to just like see it real time and see the changes as you make it.
Yeah, and you can. I think that's the trick there, isn't it? You're previewing a scene rather than necessarily generating and rendering the entire video. So
Exactly. Exactly. And so this one I kept it really short. I want, it's a quick thank you. There's not too much content to give. And so I chose one that's only 5 seconds long. Again, you can change that. You can shorten it up if you want to. But I think 5 seconds is a good amount of time. And you can change the color. Obviously, this is most likely, most of the time, you're going to want to change the color to your brand colors. So for this example, I'll just keep with the original, but we can play around. And and then at the end of that, you can add a bit audio. And so like I do recommend doing this, especially if you want to use video in Instagram and Facebook, or if you want to include it into stories. There's different types, like it's muted on Facebook automatically, but if you're putting it in Instagram stories, if you're putting it into Facebook stories, those don't come muted. And so it's nice to have that audio background. So I'll just choose one. These seem to be Christmas themed, so that's nice. It makes it part of the actual holiday theme. And then you can build your preview out.
So yeah, and so we've got a bunch of templates. So what we might do, we've got Nick, the producer, this week, and Nick said to us before we came on, "Are there any links you want to share?" And we went, "No, there's no links you want to share." And then straight away, I thought, you know what we need to share? Links through to the template sections where we've got these Christmas and festival templates, so that people who are watching this can actually head straight through to a template page and go, "Okay, yes, I'd like to use the same scene that Ken just built his video with." So we will dig that out, even if we have to throw them in the comments after the end of the show. We'll do that just so it's easy for you to, copy the same scenes, because that's in essence the whole point of Biteable, is that you can look at this and say to yourself, well, yeah, I like the look of that. I'm going to use that exact same video. So it's all there. Sometimes it's easy to get that direct link so you can go straight through the template. So we can do that.
Right. And so while I'm waiting for this to build, I'm actually going to be starting the other one. And this one is more for the hard sale approach, the e-commerce brands. And this one is obviously taking advantage of Black Friday. And Biteable does a really good job of this because, we have different scenes here. So first scene is going to be Black Friday sale. You can adjust it to whatever discount that you're offering to your customers. Maybe it's 40% off all home chairs or furnishing.
So just a quick one, Ken. Like Black Friday is not is a very new. For me, being based in Australia, this is a new phenomenon for me. Where did it come from? Like, because it's not something that I really got growing up. We kind of in Australia, all the sales were Boxing Day sales. That was kind of the only thing, and then this new phenomenon appears as we're going online. So you've probably got a better idea than I do.
Yeah, and in Canada, it was very similar to, we only got Boxing Day as well, and that was on the 26th. And to my surprise, the United States doesn't actually celebrate Boxing Day as much. And so, what had happened was, I guess, before Thanksgiving, in the US, this is traditionally when Black Friday starts. And so, I guess some companies, I believe what they were doing was trying to get advantage of, this is like about a month before Christmas. This is when people are like really trying to sell. And so I believe that it started off with that, and just like people trying to take advantage of, okay, right before Thanksgiving, help try and build that, and try and get these sales out. And so I think it started off with that, and then it just started snowballing into this gigantic like Black Friday sale, and Cyber Monday sale. And the minute like Amazon, especially, I think Amazon was like the really big driver of it because they drive so much sales in the US. I think the minute like Amazon decided, okay, like let's do a Black Friday, that's when it started to like really explode into Best Buys and other especially electronics. I think electronics is the one area where like Black Friday is like super heavily like dependent on. So yeah, it's definitely had its mark in sales. And so it's really good to like just take
Cyber Monday, and that's what's that? That's the last Monday before shipping finishes for most people. Is that the?
Yeah, so Cyber Monday actually follows Black Friday. So I believe I have my dates right. It's somewhere in the end of November this year. But Black Friday, the Friday before Thanksgiving, and then you have Cyber Monday, which follows it. And traditionally, what had happened was that like Black Friday was like for retailers. So people would go into brick and mortar stores and like line up and fight each other for deals and things like that. And then Cyber Monday was for online sales, and it was for that kind of like, oh, okay, these are all the discounts that are happening online. But then as you see commerce start to shift and you start to see shopping start to shift, it's almost like almost all the deals are on now. And obviously, you can go into the store and go through the hassle of like going through crowds of people also shopping and trying to get the deals that way, where you have the opportunity to just buy it online. So that really shifted the, I guess, the method that people were advertising in. So if I go to next scene,
Mhm.
so this one, again, you can edit it. It's beautiful that you can edit it really clearly. Um, and so here's the first image, high chair. It's a beautiful high chair. And you can just say, this is highly customizable. So high quality
I don't know if
timber
it's just
high
my
chair.
screen, Ken. It hasn't actually gone through to the next scene on the video for me. It could just be me, but I
Okay.
think it might be paused.
Okay. Let
Hmm.
me see. Am I moving back?
No. Oh, yes, you
Really?
are. Yeah.
There? Back? Okay. There might be a delay in my screen share. So I'm just editing the timber high chair right now. And what I'm doing here is obviously as an e-commerce product, you want to just get the, like if I'm selling a beautiful timber high chair, I would actually want to capitalize on the quality. And I think this is a bit actually too much text. And so I'm going to lower it down and say like beautiful handmade high chairs available now, and say
I don't think it is. I don't think it is going live perfectly for us at the moment. So we're
okay,
gonna maybe just jump out of the screen share. We'll jump out of
sure,
screen share. We'll have a chat, and we'll see next time we come back in. It might render properly for us because I think
sure,
it's frozen for everyone.
sure. So I'm stopping my screen share now.
And then Nick, the producer, can scramble to get the scenes working behind it for us. So fantastic. So yeah, I think so. We'll assume we'll get those, and what we'll do is we can actually share the produced videos afterwards. So that makes it really easy for us to come back and say, yeah, we'll put the links in, and you can kind of share the videos, and everyone can see those copies. So look, the main thing is, I guess we've created those videos. The next thing for us is to think about who we're actually targeting and how we're going to reach them. We already discussed at the beginning of the show, it can get quite expensive.
Right.
So, your baseline that everyone knows is, yep, you can go on to, you produce your video, you put it onto Facebook, you hit the boost button, and you can kind of share it to, say, all the fans of your page. Okay, so that's like the base level where you can target people who, in theory, like your business or your page or your store. But if you want to go a bit deeper than that, what's some tips you've got, Ken, about reaching, like, really reaching your core target audience?
Sure. So I'll break it out into the three types of methods that we've been talking about before. And so initially, like for soft, boosting might actually be one of the better options for you because if you're doing the soft approach, if you are a SaaS business, you really only want to reach your customers. You really only want to reach your fans that are connected to your page. And so when you are a SaaS company, really just you have your customer list. If you don't have that already on Facebook, get that in. Don't use the Facebook page to boost it. Go into your business manager, upload that custom audience of all your customers in that audience tab, and make sure that you're targeting these people. And if you have any other identifiers of people who are maybe high quality users or high value users, you can separate that out. And maybe if you want to give a special gift to these people who are your top 10% of fans or top 10% of customers, you can do that, and you can provide them maybe a free month or whatever it is. You can interact with them a bit differently than your other customers. So that's the approach that I would take with SaaS. And then if you are moving more to the consideration stage, your services, what you can do is in Facebook targeting, you can create you can target people who are in need of these services or have interest in these services. So depending on what your service is, right, there's a lot of different types of targeting that you can do using interest targeting. So again, if you're a massage therapist, you can target these people who are interested in, health and wellness, and different things that associate with massage therapy. You can target athletes and people who are associated with sports, because they're most likely the people who are actually going to need that service. And also, you can also target your customer list as well, and retarget to them. And if you have the opportunity, if you have a big enough list, I would highly recommend that you upload your customer list into Facebook and create a lookalike audience off of it, and find people who really look like your custom audience.
So just to be clear about
that's
that,
the medium.
we're talking here about, like, you've got an email list of your customer base. You take that email list, save it in Excel as a CSV file. You upload that as a new saved audience into Facebook, and then Facebook, where they can, will match those email addresses to the accounts that they have. And if you've got a retail business, those email addresses will usually match like 70, 80% of the time on Facebook, because let's face it, Facebook knows almost everybody. And then you're able to run a Facebook campaign that just targets your customers that match with their email addresses, which for me is a big part of this seasonal targeting. It's great to bring in new customers, but it's pretty noisy out there to get the cut through a lot of the time. And with that, we spoke about at the beginning, that kind of personal bond that the seasons give you the chance to make. Well, that's easier if it's someone who's already engaged with your business to kind of pitch in and have the happy holidays, happy Christmas, happy New Year. If you've not actually ever spoken or engaged with somebody before, it's still great to do it, but it's not quite the same heartfelt seasonal greeting when it's a brand new person.
Definitely. And one hot tip for when you're pulling these customer lists is to make sure that if you are pulling revenue from each customer, put that in the list as well. And Facebook has a option that allows you to create lookalikes off of a value-based list. And so what will happen is, if you have, say, an average order value between $100 to $500, and Facebook is trying to create a lookalike audience off of it, it'll value those people who look like the people who spent $500 rather than the $100. And so that's a really good way to maintain that ROI and to trust in Facebook's algorithm a little bit to find these high value customers.
Fantastic. So,
sorry, the last.
Go ahead.
Yeah. The last piece is for e-commerce, and you can still take the same approach as the other ones. Update your customer list, create lookalikes. But the one thing that e-commerce does have a really great advantage of is, Facebook does look at households, and it does its best job to match households with households. So if they see that there's multiple Facebook accounts firing on the same Wi-Fi or whatever it is, however they find that out, they'll try and lock down those households. And what you can do on Facebook's end is there's an interest target for interest that your household members have. So if your household members have an interest in a specific product or something, you can actually target that on Facebook. And so that's a really good way to, message household family members and say, hey, someone in your family might love this gift. And that's a really good experience for e-commerce products.
So it's kind of, you're using the scary targeting power of Facebook there to your business advantage. So it makes a lot of sense.
Definitely.
Brilliant. So to take this a step up a gear, maybe we can look at or discuss a little bit around the concept of sequential targeting here. So covering off all the elements we've spoken about, it's seasonal. It's a chance for us to have an emotional, timely bond with customers or potential customers. And then we're in a situation where we're saying, okay, well, we've got that. Now we've created a video. Now we're engaging with somebody. The next thing for us is to think about how we might actually make this sequential. And then rather than just hit someone with one video, how we can produce multiple videos. I'm just looking at your face there, Ken, and you look awfully paused.
Oh, that's a bit odd. Am I still paused?
Yeah, I think you're a little bit frozen.
Okay, give me 1 second.
There you go. You're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Okay, awesome.
So it'd be really good to work on, just discuss a little bit about how those sequential videos might actually be able to help us, I guess, get more bang for our buck. and as we are starting to engage with people, how we can take that a bit further.
Cool. So when you're creating sequential videos, this is actually a really good opportunity for the soft sellers and the medium sellers to actually like really leverage this, because when you're targeting your customer base and you're trying to build this loyalty, you're just thanking them for being customers. Did I pause?
I paused for a second, but you're back.
Okay. Um, so yeah, when you're thanking them for being customers and you're actually thanking them to, actually for their loyalty throughout the years, what you can do is, when you run these videos and you're running these thank you videos, what you can do is you can create an engaged audience off of these people who have watched these videos. And so, you can go into your audience, Facebook audience tab, and create a custom audience, and in the engagement button there, you can choose all the videos that are holiday related or that are customer related, that you ran, and then bundle all those people who have watched, maybe 50% of the video, or maybe even 100% of the video, whatever your method of engagement is. I would test it out, test out those different audiences and see which has a better response. And test that out. So 25%, 50%, 100%. Test that out and retarget to these people when it comes down to renewal time, when it comes down to, when you have a new feature, when you want to ask people to switch from monthly to yearly subscriptions, all these different things where if you have already touched them emotionally just by being more than just their service or their software, and being a business partner for them, and how and thanking them for being a business partner with you, you can really help, like really leverage that conversion after you retarget them.
Yeah. I think, and when you talk about retargeting there, I guess the thing is, it's all about understanding that in Facebook Ads Manager, you've got that ability to say, hey, if someone has seen 95% of this video, put them into a custom audience, and then you can kind of send them something else. So you can get the cut through with the seasonal video. But then if someone is watching that and they have engaged, even if it's just a view, that's that chance to create a second audience off the first, a little bit more time, and then you get that chance to maybe follow up with an actual sales video or something a little bit more action orientated. Okay, and again, I guess it goes down to the size of your video targeting as to how many jumps you can make, because you can over engineer this. You can have too many jumps, and your audiences get too small. But if you're lucky enough to be running a big Facebook campaign, there's the theory, in practice, you could actually produce 3 or 4 sequential videos. So you could sort of slowly bring someone on a journey, or imagine them sort of coming down a funnel. So you're sort of starting up really high with a big audience, and each time people engage with a video, you can bring them down. It's a smaller audience, but you retarget that audience, and you just work the way down. If you can get to that 6 or 7 touch points with a customer, I guess that's the great thing about a sequential video, is you're much more likely to convert somebody at the end. And you're spending less money at each stage because your audience is getting smaller. They're just getting tighter and more targeted.
Yeah, and you're spending less money too, because you are optimizing towards different objectives rather than trying to make an awareness video optimized towards a conversion event, where you never really want to do that. And if you leverage Facebook's optimization tactics based on the campaign objective to that through the funnel, you'll definitely get a bit better conversion down the line.
Fantastic. Brilliant. All right. Well, let's take a risk and see if we can get your screen sharing to work. And we might just jump into Biteable in the wild here, because we're right towards the end of our half hour. So we'll see if we can get this one working.
Sure. Let's try it out.
Oh, the screen's up, so that's a good start.
Okay. Sure. So give me 1 second here. Is there any delay?
No, it's coming through. Like we're seeing your screen flick through, so that's fine.
Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to stop my screen share real quick.
I think we're having a good show. Yeah, we're just getting a little bit of background noise there. Might be coming from the producer's shed. So, Ken, you're on mute now too.
Are you still getting any background noise? We find on.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just keep talking loudly.
So I'm just trying to find the Biteable in the wild link right now.
Oh, that's fine. We can always do it. We can always
Yeah.
We'll stay on this the speaking screen, and we'll throw Biteable in the wild into the Slack, not the Slack channel, but the Facebook channel at the end of the show. So what we might do is it's we've had a few gremlins mucking around, and that's part of the risk of doing these things live, is they don't always work out. So I apologize to Kathy, who's on the chat, who mentioned that. And yeah, this is one of those difficult things. The nervous part of you always says, we could just pre-record this and then just go with it. And the other part, you think, well, let's try to do it live and make it work. But it doesn't always work out the way you plan. So look, we might wrap it up there. We will throw into the Facebook chat the templates, links to the templates. We'll throw in maybe even we'll just sort of push Ken's little videos live so you can have a look at what he produced there at the end. And we will put in the Biteable in the wild link for you, so you can check that one out as well. So if you're watching this on repeat, which is what most people do, saved onto the Facebook page, it should all be there in the end of the chat for you, so it won't be a problem. So thanks a lot for joining us, Ken. Apologies for the technical issues. It's one of those things, probably not helped by the fact that we're on opposite sides of the world. Thank you, everyone who's watching it live. Thank you to everyone who watches it afterwards. And we will hopefully see you back again this time next week with another show. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.